Is the U.S. preparing to strike Iran again? U.S. Central Command said on Monday the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln is deployed to the Middle East to promote regional security and stability. File photo. Earlier this month, U.S. President Donald Trump sent a message to Iranians who were protesting against the regime that help is on its way. Since then, there has been a slow, steady, and significant buildup of U.S. military forces in the region. America, which is the world's most powerful military, has already shown it can strike Iran. Last June's Operation Midnight Hammer targeted its nuclear facilities. It involved more than 100 aircraft, with B-2 stealth jets flying all the way from the United States to deliver their bunker-buster precision-guided bombs. The question now, is the U.S. getting ready to hit Iran again? Donald Trump's latest social media post suggests he may, with him warning Iran that unless it makes a deal to limit its nuclear program, then the next attack will be far worse. The U.S. president said a massive armada was heading to Iran, and like in Venezuela where the U.S. seized Nicolas Maduro, it was ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission, with speed and violence, if necessary. He called for Iran to come to the negotiating table, but added that time was running out. Trump warns Iran time is running out for nuclear deal as U.S. military builds up in Gulf. We all know someone who was killed. Iran protesters tell BBC of brutal crackdown. The U.S. already has a significant military footprint in the Middle East, with up to 50,000 military personnel in the region. Around 10,000 of those are based at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. But the U.S. also has bases in Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. Over the past few weeks, open-source intelligence reporting has tracked scores of additional U.S. military aircraft arriving in the region. Photos taken on Sunday of Al Udeid Air Force Base, the largest American facility in the Middle East, show a number of new structures appearing at a site on its periphery. After the U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear complexes last year, Tehran launched missiles at Al Udeid. Now, there seems to be new anti-air defenses being installed there, experts who were shown the satellite images said. The Pentagon does not provide a detailed list of those movements, but BBC Verify has been able to track the arrival of F-15 fighter jets and refueling tankers. Drones and P-8 Poseidon spy planes have been seen operating near Iranian airspace on the Flight Radar 24 tracking website. There has also been the arrival of transport aircraft, some of which are believed to be carrying more air defense systems. This may suggest that America is taking steps to defend itself and its Gulf allies from possible retaliatory strikes if Trump ordered an attack on Iran. Britain, too, has sent a squadron of Typhoon jets to the area to boost regional security. The U.S. Air Force has announced that it is conducting a major exercise in the region, Operation Agile Spartan, to demonstrate the ability to deploy, disperse, and sustain combat air power across the U.S. Central Command area of responsibility. Stephen Watkins, who tracks ships and shares his findings on social media, has also recently tracked the arrival of a number of U.S. early warning and spy aircraft which were there during Operation Midnight Hammer, including RC-135s, and E-11A Bakn and E-3G Sentry. He says that might suggest that strikes are coming sooner rather than later. Just as significant is the arrival of a U.S. carrier strike group to the region. The USS Abraham Lincoln was in the Indo-Pacific region when it was ordered to turn around and head to the Gulf. While the aircraft carrier has not publicly broadcast its location for more than a week, on Monday an Osprey aircraft's tracker was seen on Flight Radar 24 landing in Oman after leaving an offshore location in the Gulf. That suggests the Lincoln could be operating somewhere near Oman. A carrier strike group is one of the most potent symbols of American military power, with an air wing of around 70 aircraft. On the USS Abraham Lincoln, that includes the latest F-35 stealth jets, capable of evading enemy radar. The strike group also has 3 destroyers loaded with Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles, and is normally accompanied by a nuclear-powered submarine, which fires the same weapon. That is in addition to the 2 U.S. destroyers already in the region. In the words of President Trump, "We have a big flotilla going in that region, and we'll see what happens." Potential targets. Matthew Savill, director of military sciences at the defense think tank RUSI, says that with their current military posture in the region, the U.S. could probably go almost anywhere in Iran and strike almost anything, apart from the most deeply buried facilities. which would likely require B-2 bombers. So what might the U.S. target if Trump gives the order? Savill, who worked on Iran policy with the UK government, says the U.S. has a range of options. The first could be Iran's military capabilities, like its ballistic missile threat or its coastal missile batteries. At the very least, that could make it harder for the regime to retaliate, which it is threatening to do. Iran still has significant stockpiles of short-range ballistic missiles and long-range drones. That makes some of America's Gulf allies nervous. Some have already made clear they will not support more U.S. strikes. Another option would be to target the regime itself. Savill says they could go after the centers of military power, including Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps and maybe the militias that are suppressing the protesters. Trying to decapitate Iran's leadership, though, may prove more difficult and dangerous. Israel did target senior Iranians during its 12-day war last year. That included tracking bodyguards to find their locations. But Iran is likely to have since tightened up security and dispersed. Savill says the U.S. could probably find and kill senior individuals, but it is not clear what the cumulative effect would be. We could be witnessing the final death throes of this current regime, but the problem is that could take months or even years to play out, Savill adds. While President Trump has proved that he is willing to use military force, he has made clear in the past that he has no desire to get involved in a long, protracted conflict. His military interventions so far have been short, sharp, and limited. He has also not ruled out a diplomatic solution that would require Iran to agree to limit its nuclear program. According to Savill, Trump is now having to weigh the desire to be seen as decisive with the chances of actually achieving a decisive impact.